Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Basically, this is my first time doing a live like this, so I don't know what to expect. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll just wait a few minutes until someone comes in, if anyone does. We see someone on the feed here. If you have a question, then you can ask it in the comments. Or if you see the address there, you can maybe copy and paste it or type it in. And if you're a male, then if you go there, we can bring you into the stream here. Again, this is my first time doing a live like this, and so if any of you have a question about Arabic, learning Arabic, living and studying in Kuwait, then inshallah you can ask it in the comments. Or if you're a male and you want to be on in video or audio, then you can put this link in your browser and join by video, audio. Abu Musa says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Again, this is my first time doing something like this. I don't know if it will be posted or kept on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. I may delete the live stream from there. I'm not sure. But if you have any questions related to learning Arabic, any questions to living and studying in Kuwait, or something that I may be able to answer, I'm not here to answer fatwas or give fit questions. But Titus Bennett says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ustad. I say, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm not an Ustad, though. I'm just your brother. Barakallahu fikum. Then we have Abu Mu'adh Shahid. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're well, inshallah. Yes, I'm well. We see Arham Zayam. Give me 1 second and I'll bring you in. Titus Bennett. Aina Anta. Lam Araka Mundu Zaman. I'm in Kuwait. أنا في الكويت. وأين أنت؟ طيب. Says device is not connected. You'll have to connect at least a microphone, Arham, before I can put you into the feed. You don't have a microphone or a camera connected. There's no way I can add you to the feed. You have to add that. Question from Abu Musa. Do you have in Kuwait a short course for a month, meaning Arabic? Then the answer is currently, as the world is being affected by coronavirus, then we don't have any real programs. However, there is a markaz which is called the Islamic Cultural Center of Kuwait, ICCKW. And you can find them on Twitter, on Facebook, I believe they have a YouTube channel as well, Islamic Cultural Center of Kuwait, ICCKW. Like I said, Facebook, Twitter. Not sure if they have a page anymore. Anyway, they have a program before COVID that was 3 months at a time for learning the Arabic language. Here you say your English is not good, but I don't know if you're looking for just Arabic. As for something a month long, then there isn't anything that's that long or that short. However, if you want to benefit from Arabic, or if you want, I mean, if you already know Arabic and you want to benefit from just knowledge, and if you want to benefit from the ulama, we have had many people come for this program I'm talking about now that didn't understand Arabic, but they came to benefit from the environment of students, and that is a Dora, which happens twice a year. Called Dora Ali ibn Abi Talib. Brothers from all over the world attend. The brothers who come from America and the UK usually stay with me in my house. Let's see. He says he's in Houston, and he meant, I haven't seen any of your live classes online. That is what I meant about I haven't seen you. Yeah. The program I was using, Wiz IQ, I don't have it anymore. It's rather expensive. And I took a year off during the COVID to try to work on some other things. And then now I came back. Most of the classes I do now are pre-recorded and uploaded when done. Before we get to Abu Mu'adh Shahid, I'm going to try to bring in Arham Zayam, see what he has for us, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Arham. Arham. You can let me know, inshallah, through the chat or something when you're ready. I brought you in. You're here, but for some reason, nothing. Question from Abu Mu'adh Shahid. Again, for those who are online, if you type this, I'm trying to figure out where the camera is, this link here into your browser, or if you're able to cut and paste it, I'm not sure. Then if you want to be on live with me, then you can click that in and we'll bring you in, inshallah. Question from Abu Mu'adh Shahid that's watching on YouTube. He says, I have not found Ajrumiya on your channel. I benefited from your Nahawadi course. Is that a personal preference? For truly learning the Arabic language, then Nahawadi is better. Yes, in my opinion. That is because of the many examples that it gives from everyday life, the vocabulary that you can pick up from a Nahwu is much clearer, and as well, the concepts are divided and separated and broken up into smaller bits and pieces. Ajrumiya is, of course, better later on. Once you already know Arabic, then Ajrumiya is a refresher course for you to keep the rules, and maybe once you have them all separated, then now Ajrumiya will bring them all together into a more summarized form. He also said, Abu Mu'adh on YouTube, he says, do you plan on teaching Qatr al-Nada or Alfiya? No. And this is the problem with Nahu in the English language. These books, Qatr al-Nada, Ajrumiya, Alfiya, these are for Arabs. They're not for non-Arabs. They're for people who already know Arabic. And so if you're to the point where you can truly study Alfiya, then you don't need it in English. maybe more difficult, maybe some things you miss or something, but if you can truly understand Qatra Nada, Ajrumiya, Alfiya, then it's time for you to study it in Arabic and not in English. And those are already taught numerous times in the Arabic language, so you don't need someone like me. We have someone say it from named again for those who might want to come in. If they type in this link here on their browser, then they can join us in the feed, inshallah. If Arham would let us know when he's available, then I'll bring him in. This says, I might get your name wrong, Baha Abdullahi, Abdul Ala. I'm not sure. Assalamu alaikum. I'm from Freetown, Sierra Leone, West Africa. I would like to study Arabic and Islam. Here's my WhatsApp line. I look forward to having your kindest reply. If you look forward to learning Arabic, then upon you is to just start. And the reason my channel is called Learn Arabic Through Reading is because many people study the books we were talking about. They study the Medina books. They study the Muhammad ibn Saud books. They study Al-Arabiyyatu Bayna Yadayk. They study the Qurra books, Kitab al-Asasi. They study many different books. They study Ajrumiya. They study Qatra Nada. Some of them enter into Alfiya. And all of that is great and nice, but then they're still not reading books. They may know, that the fa'al is marfu'. They may know that the maf'ulun bihi is mansub. They may know the difference between maf'ulun bihi and maf'ulun fihi and maf'ulun li ajli, but they don't know how to read books. And this is a big mistake. Some of this portion of your time in studying the Arabic language should be in reading books, building your vocabulary. It doesn't matter if you know how that the object of a verb is mansub and the asl of something being mansub, its foundation is that it's a fatha. If you don't know what the word means, what does it matter? So, likewise, a little child, when he's hungry, says, me hungry. Me hungry is not a correct sentence, but we understand that he's hungry. So if you can tell someone you're hungry and you say it incorrectly, that's fine. But if you know how to say the sentence correctly, but don't know the words, then it makes no real benefit. So you have to just start reading. You have to start learning somewhere. Inshallah, I'll take number. But if you want to learn, in today's world, there is no excuse why a person does not learn the religion. None. Nor Arabic language. There are channels out here that are promoting stuff for free. Teaching being done for free. Abdul Hakim Reese says, Assalamu alaikum. I say, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And he says, you also need a very good teacher. This is true. But even without a teacher, wallahi, you can accomplish a whole lot. Even you accomplish, Allah knows best. Does everyone still hear me? I believe so. I have a few more questions here, but give me a second. Let me let Bilal in. I believe so. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh Bilal is my name on this handle, but the other inside of YouTube, it's Titus. But I was the one who actually, the brother who knew Eliji from we studied in Yemen together. We went to Yemen together, alhamdulillah.
No.
MashaAllah. So as you were,
yeah, you're breaking up, but I'm following you, MashaAllah.
I'm breaking up, Shay. I mean,
yeah, your video is going in.
Oh, the video.
My side.
Okay, so as pertaining to what you were talking about, as far as the learning Arabic, now you said that there's a lot of programs out there right now online for free that you can learn from, and you can could get a become pretty proficient with Arabic. What are some of the better ones out there, or is there any better or less better or more better in your in your opinion?
Well, of course, whoever said, I don't forget who said up above here that we need a teacher.
Hmm.
Maybe that was you. I'm not sure. No, it's
Hmm.
Abdul Hakim Reeds that you need a teacher.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if you need a teacher, then, of course, Elir's Islamic Center of Dallas or Islamic Center of Texas, he teaches
Texas.
online. But at the same time, it's not mukathafa. It's not uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Not intensive.
Hmm.
It's a couple times a week. A person should be studying the Arabic language. In my personal, I mean, people ask me. I made a short video the other day about someone asked me how many years does it take to learn to be able to read, on a decent level.
Hmm.
But it's not about years. It's about hours.
Okay.
You know, it's about hours. They say it takes around 2,200 hours to learn the Arabic language.
Wow.
It doesn't sound like a lot. 2,200 hours is not bad. But if
No.
you're putting it out, but if you put in an hour a week, you're only getting 50 hours a year.
Right.
And if you put in an hour a day, you're only getting 355 hours a year.
Right.
And if you need to do that, until you get to 2,200 hours, then you're talking about 4 or 5 years.
Hmm.
And that's an hour a day. And now I was trying to think of an example because I think 2,200 hours means 5 hours a day, 5 days a week until 2,200 hours are. An example I came up with in my mind, the similitude was, just say you had to cut, 10 acres worth of grass. You're not going to get it all done in one day.
No.
But you're going to get, just say you can get an acre done a day. So tomorrow you go out and work on the second acre, the third acre, the fourth acre, fifth day, fifth acre, sixth day, sixth acre, seventh day, seventh acre. But on day 8, you can get an acre done, but acre 1 needs to be cut again.
Subhanallah.
So you're not going to get done like that, just cutting it up into small, itsy bitsy pieces. You're not going to get it done in the same amount of time as if we had 10 people, we could go out and cut the grass in one day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you cut it up and make it into smaller amounts or blocks of time, I think that 22 might turn into 4,000, depending on how small your time is.
Right.
And so, you need to be. My teacher, when I went to the Islamic University of Kuwait, I went to their Arabic program, which is just a 1-year program. He told me you need to have, if you're not spending 10 hours a day learning the language, you don't want to learn it. That's what he told me. But he was also talking to people who were brought from other countries. I wasn't one of them because I was just a listener. I wasn't actually in the program. I just went and listened every day. I was like a guest. Me and another brother from the States did that.
Do they allow you to do that,
yeah,
brother?
Yeah,
they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you could get off for a year and come live here for a year, they'd let you do that. No problem, But the thing is he was talking to people who were brought from Malaysia and Russia and China and South Korea and Africa and all different countries who were there living in the dorms. Everything is provided for them. And he was telling them, if y'all ain't studying 10 hours a day, y'all don't want to learn.
That was their hadaf. That was their specific goal to be there for that. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So he said, so we asked him, what was the breakdown? So he said, you need to do 4 hours of reading, 3 hours of listening, 2 hours of conversation, and 1 hour of writing every day. So if we take that tree, say, well, I don't got 10 hours, I only got 5 hours. Okay, 2 hours of reading, 1.5 hours of listening, 1 hour of conversating, and a half hour writing. Just break it in half. Well, I don't have 5 hours. I only got 2.5 hours. Okay, well, cut it down into fourths then. You know what I mean? So you got 1 hour of reading, 45 minutes of listening, 30 minutes of conversating, and 15 minutes of writing.
Mhm.
You say, well, 2.5 hours is a lot. I say, hold up, it's not a lot. You know what I mean? Because number one, you can get your listening in while you're in the car, while you're on the train, while you're waiting for the bus.
Mhm.
Your reading can be gotten in if you're, on a train. Your reading can be gotten in. That 1 hour can be gotten in anywhere. The listening can be gotten in anywhere. Now you just need to figure out some time for your conversating and for your writing.
Now, how do you get the conversation and the conversation in when you're not in a place where you actually have access to decent Arabic speakers?
Well, you do what you can, man.
Okay.
Wallahi, think of a little kid who doesn't have brothers and sisters. What do? I remember there's this one Hindi guy. He wasn't even a Muslim at the time. I think he became a Muslim. He was on the news over here that he had learned the Arabic language, and I'm talking about he was like Sibawayh.
Wow.
He was not necessarily in rules. I'm not sure, but as far as his speech, I mean, he was the most proper Fusha dude there is.
Allahu Akbar.
And what he did is he was living in Dubai or somewhere like this, and he wanted to learn Arabic, and so he had his sister there, and he said every day before I would tell my sister something, I would tell her to her in Arabic, and then I'd tell her to her in Hindi because she didn't know Arabic. So if I want to say, I'm hungry, I'd tell her in Arabic, and then I'd tell her in Hindi. He said, and when I didn't have anybody, I'd look in the mirror, and I would talk to myself in the mirror. I'd have that conversation in the mirror.
Oh, he wanted it. He wanted it.
Yeah. And when I was teaching El Qira'at Rashida, when I would record it, I would say, man, take your brush, look at your pen and talk to it back and forth. I'm talking to you. You talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Well, like, if you want it, you'll get it.
Yeah. No.
If you want it, you will get it. So it might take some creativeness, but if you want it, you're going to get it. So we already know that LQ Toronto has Medina books done completely.
No.
There's a brother who used to be in Green Lane, or I believe somewhere in UK or somewhere. He's done the Al Arabiya to Bani Yadayk twice.
Mm-hmm.
For people who can afford something, and the teachers in Misr do it for like $7 an hour.
No. Yes.
And if you said I'm gonna call you every day for 7 days, I don't want 2-3 hours a week. I want 7 days a week. You could probably get it down.
No.
Because they know they have somebody that they're gonna do it. So I mean, there's people, there's ways to do it. Me personally, like I said, I think if you can read the Quran, the best thing you're gonna do is like I said, he said 4 hours of reading. Just start reading. No. If you can form the letters together where you can pronounce the Quran, Alif, Lam, Mim, now you need to start reading Thalathatul Usul. I don't know what it means. You will. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't move on and say, but I don't want to just keep doing Thalathatul. Yeah, but you got to keep doing Thalathatul. You got to keep doing something until you get it, and then move on. Don't move on until you understand.
Yeah, that's amazing that you say that, because a lot of people, you'll find that they want to leave the Thalathatul Usul and go to Kashf Shubahat and this one and this one. Yeah. And it's like you really don't it's like I tell some people when I was in Yemen. Let me just show you something. When I was in Yemen, I had a notebook. And I used to go around in Sana'a. I used to go around the whole neighborhood because the teaching there wasn't it wasn't as advanced because they had less access and less contact with people from the West than say Egypt, where Egypt has an established Maracas, Fajr Center, Baina, so many Maracas there that you can go to as an American and learn. So going to Yemen, I used to carry a notebook around, and I used to always say, go up to me, Kaifa Takulu Hada, Kaifa Takulu Hada, Melaka, Kaifa Takulu Hada, Shawk, Kaifa Takulu Hada. subhanallah. So the people used to tell me, they used to say, hey, look who's coming around the corner. That's Abu Kaifa Tukulu. You know, so when I was coming around the corner from the restaurant or anyway, they used to say, hey, that's Abu Kaifa Tukulu. So this is one thing that I've learned by Maraja, doing a lot of repetition. This is a book that I've had for years, just nothing but Arabic in it, you know, and I have a whole bunch of them, just, you know, copying books, you know, whole books of the Usul al-Thalatha, you know, Qawaid al-Arba, and I did it with you with the 10 Muwaqid al-Islam. So I actually took a notebook and just started writing it down, you know, and this would help me to actually memorize the qawaid inside of these books, the major ideas that I need to carry along with me and actually try to practice, like you said, because you made one good point. And wallahi, jazaka Allahu khairan, barakallahu feek. You said, don't use these to get on somebody else. Use them to get on yourself. I said, subhanallah. I said, subhanallah. Beautiful. Masha, that was something that I said, and I've never heard anybody else when at the start of explaining that book, you know, in your program, Learning Through Reading, you know, I never heard anybody say that, hey man, just, you know, calm down, and don't be so quick to get on the other people, you know, but to use it as to judge yourself. I said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, because you get so many people, they go over one or two books and they ready to drop the hammer. They ready to drop the hammer, the gauntlet on people. So jazakallahu khairan, akhi, for that was very beneficial. That nasiha right there was mumtaz. Alhamdulillah, jazakallahu khairan. But now, so
that's all. That's everything we read. Everything we read should be for ourselves first.
MashaAllah.
You know, everything we should be for ourselves, whether it be an ayat from the Quran. You know, I told that brother not to be befriending them kuffar. No, man, talk to yourself first. You know, what kind of befriending do we do? You know, do we you know, like, for example, would you go hang out with the kuffar in Hollywood all day today? No, I ain't going to hang out with them.
No,
but you might sit all afternoon and watch them and hang out with them and listen to their conversation. You don't even get to put in your input. You sit there and watch their conversation. You go where they go. You ride in the car when they ride. They smoking a cigarette, drinking a shot of this or that. You sitting there right there with them. You in their company, whether that video was recorded a long time ago or not. You know, those people become your friends. You know, they become your people who you care about. You know. And people, TV shows, you know what I mean? I don't want to go hang out with so-and-so every Thursday night, but as long as when I watch his show every Thursday night, I'm hanging out with him every Thursday night. And, you know, so when I read the ayat about befriending the kuffar, I'm not thinking about, you know, I told that brother who I saw hanging out with him the other day with his hat cocked, ace deuce. No, I'm talking to me. Why was I watching such and such show the other night? You know, I'm hanging out with him too. At least he might even have a chance to give in a good word to that guy. I can't even say nothing. I'm looking at TV screen, sucking everything in. It's about us first, man.
Yeah. So, and another thing is, I was not disappointed, but I was looking forward to you to continue with that. The why and what was it? Limada anta Muslim. Limada anta Muslim. The thing you were doing on TikTok because
of
Iowa. So, and the reason I say that is because when I looked at TikTok, because these kids and you know, everybody there, it's influencing the masses. So you got people on there, you know, one guy, and this is just a little story. One guy, he said that if and if I'm wrong, please tell me if I'm wrong. He said that if somebody gets married, that they do not, because he had a question. He said that the person does not have to have relations on that first night. It is not, you know, the woman can say no. And I said, I regurgitated. I said, hey, brother, you know, well, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that if a woman is cooking, something is on the stove, and the man calls her to the bed, and she refuses, the malaika and you know, they curse her. So you know, I'm like, all of this, and this is just, that's a little piece of the craziness that is being said on this platform. And I'm like, I don't know nothing. And this is, you know, I mean, this guy is supposed to be some big da'i in London or something. And I'm like, what? And it seems like it's more of an appeasement for this feminist movement, because the feminist movement is strong and it'll roll right over. It'll steamroll you. If it, you know, so maybe he felt that he had to, you know, he had to acquiesce to some degree, you know. So am I seeing it wrong?
No, definitely. You know, when I first started the platform, everybody was like, I even didn't want to do it first, and the brother had to convince me of it, you know, and he had to, like, I even downloaded it because he kind of convinced me of it, and then I saw all the fitna and I didn't know how to get rid of it, so I got rid of the app, and then he said, no, man, you got to do this, and this, and that, and then nothing will appear in your feed except really what you want. Something maybe every once in a while, but you can control most of it, you know. So I said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So once I figured that out, then my family asked me, you know, my first TikTok was, you know, everybody asked me why I'm starting a TikTok channel, my friends and my family, but it's because I heard shit, you know, I read the Sheikh Uthaymeen said, man, crowd the internet with the truth until it becomes clear to them. And so we're gonna crowd TikTok until the truth becomes clear, you know. And you know, alhamdulillah, I haven't done a astaghfirullah. I haven't done anything in a long time, really. I just started putting 100 hadith up from Sheikh Salam, but we definitely need to crowd TikTok because it's something that's there. I don't recommend anyone go on it to look at stuff, but if someone can be a content creator, then I recommend them to go.
Yes, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
If you give me a minute, let me answer a few questions here. I don't
go ahead.
Rude or nothing. You can help out. Maybe you know something. He said, this person says, what book in Arabic language, Apis al-Malifira, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. What book in Arabic language would you recommend for someone like me who went through 2 Medina books in detail and after that learned a lot of Quranic and other than Quranic vocabulary? What should you read? I mean, if you can understand a lot of Quran, and I mean, first off, finish understanding the Quran. You know, second off, you know, relate that to the Quran, which would be, for instance, like al-Mukhtasar fi Tafsir or al-Tafsir al-Muyassar, and read Tafsir in Arabic. Don't just read the Quran in Arabic. Now start to read the Tafsir, and these are 2 very easy books. Read the Mutun Talib al-Ilm, you know, things that are related to Aqidah. Pick an easy book in fiqh, something like al-Fiqh al-Muyassar, you know, Qisas al-Anbiya that the brother has right there. That's good, you know. But if this person has 2 Medina books, first off, I want to say something that people misunderstand. They think that they have to finish all 3 Medina books to know Arabic, or they think that when I finish all 3 Medina books, I'll know Arabic. That's not the case. If you finish all 3 Medina books properly, then you will know Arabic. But if you finish Medina book 1 properly, you can now sit in the circles in the lessons of the ulama. No. Medina book 1 takes 5, 6, 7 months to be taught in the university. And when it's taught in that first semester, after that, the students are already sitting in the halaqat in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, sitting and listening to Sheikh Abdul Razak, Sheikh Suleiman, Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, and other than that. So if you study Medina book 1 properly, you already have reached a certain level of fluency where now you can begin to read. But you'll be more competent once you finish all 3 levels. But what happens is many people say, well, I finished all 3 levels of Medina books, and I finished Qatr al-Nada, and I started Alfiya with the brother in the masjid, but I still ain't reading. Well, there's something wrong. You didn't study those books properly, because if you would have studied those books properly, you could read the Arabic language. You know, you can read. Now, I understand communication might be weak. I've been in Kuwait for 10 years, and my communication still suffers in certain areas, you know, but that's because I don't mix people a lot. I don't prefer to mix with them, you know. They start talking in their Amiya, their lahajat, and it just kind of turns me off, you know. So I don't like to go out there. I like to stay at home. I like to spend time with my family, you know, read in my library. You know, I prefer that. But my listening, my reading, that's not missing. My conversation might be short. It might have its shortcomings, but my reading and listening. So what books would I recommend, man? Read Kitab al-Tawheed until you understand it. It's nothing but ayat and hadith. If you understand Quran, next go to the Kutub al-Sitta. Start reading Sahih al-Bukhari till you finish it. If that's too big of a book, read the Mukhtasar of Bukhari, the Mukhtasar of Muslim. You know, start reading the books of hadith, because the Quran and the Sunnah is the source of our religion anyway. You know, and if you understand the Quran and you understand what's said in the hadith, then when Fawzan talks about it, he's going to mention an ayah and a hadith to support his opinion, and you're going to fill in the gaps with what he said anyway, because half of the vocabulary that wasn't an ayah and wasn't a hadith is still from the Quran and the hadith. So therefore, you're going to understand it. You could fill it in with ease. So, you know, Rock is on that. Then they asked, would you recommend Sharh al-Arba'un al-Nawawiyya, Sharh al-Arba'in al-Nawawiyya of Ibn Uthaymeen? Of course. Uthaymeen books are easy. MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
One other person said, what are some good books for seerah based on authentic hadith in English translation? Well, I don't know. I got Sheikh al-Albani's book on the seerah is translated. Sheikh al-Albani's book on the seerah is translated. If you go to the English Diwan on Telegram, it's called the English Diwan, Diwan. Then there's thousands of English books on there, and Islamic English books, and Sheikh al-Albani's is in there. Then Sheikh Ilir, Hafidhullah, he says, Bilal used to take a chapter out of they can find an Arab to converse about the subject. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Then he says, this brother says, is Arabiya Bani Yadayk a good place to start? I did half of Ajrumiya. I'm not going to tell you don't do half of Ajrumiya, but don't do Ajrumiya until you know Arabic. You know?
Yeah.
You're just spinning wheels. You're just spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
Now, if you say, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to become familiar with it, fine. But if you're going to try to actually answer the questions on Tufat al-Saniyya or something like this and try to actually solve the answers, you're just spinning your wheels until you know Arabic. Right? This person said, why only half? Oh, Elir said to that person, why only half? Finish it off first. No, finish Ajrumiya. Ajrumiya is for Arabs. Ajrumiya is for Arabs. I say, you know, what do you say? What is it? Arab? تغيير أواخر الكلمات
لاختلاف عوامل داخل عليها لفظا أو تقديرا.
Yeah, so someone don't even understand the sentence. What good does it do to memorize that and do all
Right.
that? You know, no.
Right.
Read the book and then do it. Read the book in Arabic, understand the book, then memorize it. Now you know Arabic grammar, mashallah. Ajrumiya was written for Arabs. It wasn't written for non-Arabs. You got to build your vocabulary.
You do. You do.
No. Waiting for our teacher, Dr. Ahmed Abdul Wahab, to resume. Yeah, mashallah. I seen him talk. I seen some of his interviews. I've never paid attention to his classes, though. I think he charges for them. So I dislike that. I'm against that. But I'm not saying it's haram. I just dislike it. He went to Medina and studied for free, and now he's charging somebody to teach him. Don't do that. Allahu alam. Right? Allahu alam. That's it. So what else you got, Bilal? Oh, we got Abu Mariam. Let's bring him in. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Abu Mariam.
That's it.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كيف حالكم؟
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
الحمد لله الحمد لله. أستاذ Mustafa, we met in Jeddah. Alhamdulillah.
Akhi, do you have something on in the background with the same transmission?
He might need some headphones or something.
Yeah, I do.
If you're playing two of the same things at the same time on different devices, you'll get a lot of feedback like that. So,
Jazakallah khair. I took it away now.
You're the brother that I met. Wallahi, he had the beautiful smile. I met him with brother, what's his name? Ismail, huh?
نعم.
MashaAllah. كيف حالك أخي?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I wanted to ask a question, inshallah.
If it's about Arabic, because if it's a fiqh question, I already passed up somebody up above that had a fiqh question, man. You know, we don't have no muftis in there, so we're.
Allahu Akbar. Another question, inshallah, was tahfidh al-mufradat, the best methods to memorize mufradat in context or like out of context.
Oh, definitely in context. It's difficult to just remote memorize words. That's why I saw there was a freeze there for a second. Medina book doesn't start out with, it doesn't have anything with just words in it. You know, it has some type of picture or conversation. Same likewise with Muhammad ibn Saud books. And somebody asked up above what was the best course. If there's a best course for learning Arabic, it would be Muhammad ibn Saud books. If you could have someone teach you that course, that's the best, you know. But it introduces vocabulary words, but then it brings them inside of a context. You got to have a context. Even in English. You know, I could tell you of a rare type of cancer right now, and it won't mean anything to you. But if you went to the doctor and you had that rare type of cancer, you'd memorize that 18-letter word because it's important to you. So even in English, or whatever language, it's
one of the things that it froze for a second. One of the things that I would you say, Akhi?
I just said sah.
Okay. No, one of the things that I found very beneficial in my journey was when I got this book right here. And I memorized an aspect of this book. This book right here helped me to get past that in understanding whether to learn something in the context of it or to learn something to understand it in general. And what that book does is gives you the breakdown of the verb. And when I say breakdown, it gives you the levels of it. When you have fa'ala, and then you have fa'ala, then fa'ala, then af'ala, then tafa'ala, and tafa'ala, in fa'ala, ifta'ala, in fa'ala, in istaf'ala. So when you memorize what each one of those levels mean of that Arabic, whether does it need a direct object, somebody to receive the action, or if it doesn't need somebody to receive action, each one of that scale, each one of those levels, once you understand what each one of those levels is, 95% of the words that you see everywhere, even in the jarida, in the newspapers, whenever you see, you'll see them in one of those 10 forms, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one of those 10 forms. So when you know what each of those forms mean, either is this a reciprocating verb, meaning that it gives, and it's like battle, muqatila or qatila, to fight one another. Because I remember people were having a hard time with that. And I think it's in, I think this is in Kitab al-Tawheed, where it's explaining that had they been Muslims, that that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not have fought them. And it says qatila, and used yuqatila in there instead of qatl. So a lot of the brothers, when we were new, we said, dang, kill? No. But it meant they were fighting against one another. So I think that is a very important aspect is to memorize those 10 levels. And I think that would really help to explain the context of what is being said when you're reading the Arabic, inshallah. And Allah knows best.
Yeah, you broke up, but like I maybe not for everybody else, maybe just for me, I'm not sure, but I could gather what you said. And you know, I'm not against grammar, learning some grammar or learning a list or some words here and there. You know, I taught Nahwu Wadih because you can focus on grammar. However, the amount of examples that are given in vocabulary that is given is much more than the rule itself, that it overpowers it and it makes it in a context. And so, whereas in Ajrumiyya, even if you take it with an explanation, you're going to get the rule with 2 or 3 examples, versus in Nahwu Wadih, you're going to get the rule with 8 pages of examples.
Yeah.
You know, and so therefore I'm not against it. I'm just against, you know, taking it all at once and thinking because I did Ajrumiyya, now I understand Arabic. I mean, how many people can, like I said, they'll tell you this is mansub, this is majroor, this sign of it being majroor is an hadf al-illa. They could do all of that stuff that's complicated, but yet you tell them, you know, read, you know, Qawaid al-Arab. And that's what
Jazakallah khairan. I appreciate it.
So to answer it, it should be learned in context. And that's what reading is going to do. Reading is going to get you understanding it in context. That don't mean you can't look up words and push yourself. There, you know, there's so many aspects to it. I mean, not going to be able to answer everything, you know, everything right away. Everything's not going to come. You know, for example, in what is a person reading? A person should be reading on 3 levels. A person should be reading something very simple, something that's almost below their level, right? Something that they're past that level. You know, for instance, if you're in book 2 of Medina, you should still be reading book 1, for example, right? Because it's going to give you confidence. You know, like, oh, man, it took me a whole year to go through book 1, Medina book 1, but now I could do it in one evening. So it makes you feel good, not like depressed. A person should be doing something on their level. So the amount of effort that they put forth is the amount of reward that they get. And they should be reading something above their level, striving to get higher and move and grow, and not just be, you know, happy with the level that I'm on either. So you should have 3 different things, you know, something that you read is light, something that you read is on your level, and something that you read which is above your level in order to push yourself. And Allah knows best.
Jazakumullah khairan. Appreciate it.
Well, yeah.
And what would you say, Akhi, the brother with the question? I mean, how would you say what have you found to be the best way to actually understand the words within the, you know, as far as contextual understanding? What would you say in your journey with the Arabic language?
So for like things that I encounter with like on a daily basis, like the Quran, it's good because I'm always seeing the same words. But then when I go to a different book that I've never experienced before, I don't review that book enough to keep those vocabularies that I've seen. So I was just wondering, maybe I should memorize more vocabulary, so in case I see something new, I have a database in my head that I could apply. But then it's hard to memorize, so then maybe I should just read more and just
You should read that book until you understand it.
stay with the book.
So, for example, I remember when we first started reading, and I wasn't even recording the classes yet. It wasn't even something that I even thought others might even benefit from. Two brothers had been bothering me, man. You're over there, you're sitting in the ulama, now you're understanding them, man. You ain't teaching. I said, okay, we'll get together. I bought the program for myself, WizIQ. I taught myself how to use it. I said, we're gonna have a class every day. You're gonna be here every day. That's it.
I was a part of that. I was a part of a few of those classes.
MashaAllah.
Well, this was very, very early on, before it was recording or anything. It was just two brothers.
Okay.
And it took us to read Nawaqidul Islam, going through word by word. It took us 22 classes, which is 22 hours. We're talking about guys who are very, they know how to read. They know the alphabets. They can put a word together, but they don't have any kind of vocabulary. They don't have anything. Like almost new Muslims. Although they weren't new Muslims, they've been Muslim a while, but their Arabic was very weak. 22 hours. And then we read, after that, Usul al-Sunnah of Imam Ahmed. Usul al-Sunnah of Imam Ahmed took us around 10 or 11 hours. Now, it's actually bigger than Nawaqidul Islam.
Yeah.
But going through it word by word, they had already built some vocabulary. So we said, okay, let's go back and read Nawaqidul Islam again. We went back and read Nawaqidul Islam. It took us 2 hours.
MashaAllah.
So then we went and we did another book. We went and did another book. And I don't remember what it was at this point. And then we came back to Nawaqidul Islam. We finished like an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow.
And so don't move on from Nawaqidul Islam until when you read Nawaqidul Islam, you know exactly what's going to be said.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
And you understand what's being said. You don't know, like, what did that word mean again? What did that word look? You got to look. No. Read it again till you know it. And then move on. I'm not saying you can't move on to something else, so you don't just read Nawaqidul Islam every day. You can read Nawaqidul Islam, Usul al-Sunnah, Nawaqidul Islam, Thalath al-Usul, Nawaqidul Islam, Usul al-Sunnah, Nawaqidul Islam, Thalath al-Usul, Nawaqidul Islam, Kitab al-Tawheed. You can just keep doing it and just have you a routine of books. I'm gonna read Mutun Talib al-Ilm, first 4 books inside number 1. I'm gonna read this one. I'm gonna read this until I understand it.
All of them, yeah.
And once you do that, once you understand Al-Arba'in an-Nawawiyah, once you understand the Quran, once you understand Thalathatul Usul, that's it. You know Arabic now. You might not be able to communicate, but you can read.
You have the fahim, the understanding when you're when
you start hearing it, you're gonna understand. Like in Arabic, just like people who don't know English. They say we Americans, we eat the ends of words, we talk quickly, we do this and that. They do the same thing, they just don't realize it. But when you start learning Arabic, the khutbah, which all sounded like, because you couldn't determine what word was the beginning and the end of a word, it just sounded like a big hum. Now you start to hear a word. He said Thalatha, he said Usul, he said Nawaqid, he said, he said Kitab, he said Tawheed, he said Arba'in, he said no. Now you begin to pick out words here and there. Now
start smiling.
Arba'in, Thalatha, Kitab, and it just starts picking yourself up. Before you know it, it's just word. What's that word he said? That word you were trying to catch. If he said that same khutbah when you first started, you didn't even hear a word. You just heard. Now you understood everything he said, man. But he said that one word in that first part of khutbah I didn't understand. Now you remember that word. You can go look it up.
Nah, that's true.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. That's good advice.
How's everything in Jeddah, akhi?
Wallah, alhamdulillah. I actually came back. I'm originally from Canada, so I came back to Canada. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, I hope to go back soon.
Inshallah, man. Have Kuwait.
Yeah, inshallah.
Now, since being back home in Canada, have you been able to continue to have a jadwal, a good schedule as far as continuing to be engaged with learning the Arabic?
The work-life balance in here in Canada is not the same. So when I was in Saudi, I was an English teacher. So alhamdulillah, you finish around 2:00. You have a lot of time. I remember Mustafa Muawiyah was doing courses around Fajr time. So I used to go to that way back a long time ago. But then here, alhamdulillah, there's just so many things going on, so many durus going on,
Man.
alhamdulillah. But to balance that with learning Arabic and work, it's difficult to manage a little bit. But
Yes, the West. I find that in what I'm seeing in the West now is as I was saying earlier, that people are really starting to get away from the knowledge, and they're going on their what they feel is right. I mean, it isn't backed by anything. I was actually when I was telling Abu Muawiyah that I was texting or on this on what is it, on TikTok, and I was telling somebody that no, a wife has to, if a husband asks, for a relation, she has to, oblige him, or else, it's a sin. And so just somebody was saying, yeah, one of the texters, they messaged me, they said, yeah, you must be one of those Wahhabite and you want everything to have a proof for it. You guys' time is up. This what you guys' time is up. They wrote it. I said, man, how are I said stuff it a lot. How are you going to believe something? I might as well be a Christian again, where the pastor just told, just have faith, Bilal. Don't worry, have faith. I said I'll take the charge. Have faith. I'm not going back to that. I left that.
Yeah.
So, but I find here in America, I find that this is what's happening. So now you get people that are starting to become da'is, but it's only for the entertainment value that they're sought after. They're entertaining, but they're not really coming with the heart. Yeah, sister, you have to do it. But now it's now the da'is are really, because this has become a big issue. Because like I was saying, the feminists, they're steamrolling everybody. In LBGQT, they're I mean, no, if you're not on my brand, if you're not on this, then we're going to steamroll you. So here in America, in the West, and I've been traveling around in everywhere, people are not concerned about sitting down and reading a book. This is what I find here.
Yeah.
When I talk about Kitab al-Tawheed, Usul al-Thalatha, Qawaid al-Arba, they like, no, the younger generation. When I was young, and I'm 50, I'm in my 50s now. When I was younger, we always and when I was in Dallas, me and Elir and some other brothers, we were ready to learn. We wanted to learn and memorize these books. But it seems like now, if I bring them up, I'm kind of looked at a little strange. So that's okay. Well, I just, I'll leave it alone. Do you find that in Canada?
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, subhanallah. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems to address as well. So, as Brother Muawiyah mentioned, Sheikh Uthaymeen says, "Zahimu ahl al-batil fi al-internet hatta yatabayyana al-haqq." So that there's a lot of things to address. When I was in Saudi, alhamdulillah, the environment's peaceful. People are doing their jobs. You have the du'at, you have the mashayikh. So you don't have to step in anywhere because people are doing their jobs properly.
No.
But like back here, there's so many things to address. So if you just sit back and not do nothing, if you want to just sit down and learn Arabic, for example, there's another problem that you need to address, for example. So it's like there needs to find like a balance between addressing the issues and doing the da'wah that you need, and then also studying and doing talab al-ilm. So that's maybe something you guys can advise us on, inshallah. I don't know if that's the area here, but like, how do you balance between ku anfusakum wa ahlikum nara and then your community as well? Because a lot of people are not willing to go on these platforms like you guys are to address these issues, although they're qualified,
Well, the only reason I came on is because Abu Muawiyah invited me. I no type of qualifications or nothing like that. He invited me, so I just wanted to talk to him. So alhamdulillah, that's the only reason I'm on. So he can answer that.
Now, I mean, I don't believe that we need to be ulama. I mean, we should strive for that, but we don't need to be ulama before we're ulama. We need to just, man, if all I'm doing is learning the language and that's what I'm doing, I'm happy and I'm worshiping my Lord. Because if I go further than that, I'm no longer worshiping my Lord. I'm trying to do something that Allah didn't give me the ability to do, and I'm trying to go further than what He's going to be pleased with. Because if I start answering questions that I'm not qualified to answer and start saying stuff and doing stuff I'm not qualified for, He's no longer pleased with me. So He's pleased me as long as I'm trying to learn Arabic. And I know I look like a little miskin student, but you know what? With Allah Azza wa Jal, I look like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do.
MashaAllah.
So, Khali Wali wa Ruh Hawali.
Jazakallah khair.
Allah Barak Feekum. I got a couple
Assalamu
questions here. Allah Barak Feekum. Jazakallah khairan. Let me see here. Who are some scholars that speak Arabic in a simple way for a beginner to understand and pick up on some of what they're saying? Right now, I follow Fawzan and Suleiman Raheli, not too difficult for me. Great. Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabari is also very clear. Sheikh Abdul Razak is pretty clear as well. Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr. But if you understand Fawzan, you understand Suleiman Raheli, you're good.
No.
You know, subhanAllah. If you don't understand anybody else ever in your life, you're good, man. Elir asked, does anyone try the Al Jazeera program? I have not tried it. I looked at it many years ago, but I heard it's gotten better, but I haven't really tried it.
What is that?
It's like on their Jazeera website, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's what he's referring to. They kind of like give you short articles to read and translate. You focus on the words and stuff like this, something along those lines, but I haven't done it. Send us PDF links to learn Arabic. Go to the English Diwan, the THE English Diwan, DIWAN on Telegram, and you'll find everything you want there, inshallah. Al-Arabiyyah Bayna Yadayk is a very good book. Yes, it is. Let's see here. What reading books would you recommend to practice reading for an Arabic learner? Well, like anything, newspaper. Like I said, you should be spending 40% of your time reading. 40% of your time, according to what that teacher gave me in that program, 4321, 40% of your time should be reading. Whatever you can get your hands on. You know, does that mean I should read Thalathatul Usul for 4 hours straight? No. But I should read Thalathatul Usul every day until I understand it. And then I can read some other stuff as well. One thing I used to do when I was here, because I found that when I first moved here, I found that the student, for those who have been here, the student environment here is wonderful. There's so many students and so many mashayikh in Kuwait. It's unbelievable. But the problem is, after the dars, everybody talks in Kuwaitiya, or the Misri is talking Misriya, or the Jazairi is talking Jazairi, or whatever, you know. And I just couldn't keep up with it, and so I was having a problem picking up that side of it. And so what I used to do is I used to study 3 or 4 courses at once. And I know a lot of people say, no, stick to one course. And I say no, because every course has a beginning, a beginning, an intermediate, and an advanced level. You know, maybe the beginning level of this one focuses on nouns, and the beginning level of this one focuses on verbs, and the beginning level of this one focuses on past tense verbs, while this one focuses on present tense verbs, something like it might be a little bit different, but you know, chapters 1 through 5 might be misordered, but they're all the same first 5 chapters, you know, just in a different order in each program. And so since I want to for the first week saying Hadha Kitab, Hadha Bab, Hadha Kursi, Hadha Qalam, Hadha Sariyah, Hadha Bab, Nam, Hadha Bab, Hadha Kursi, La, Hadha Qalam. Since I don't want to do that, I need some more vocabulary. Then I can go to Al-Arabiyyah Bayna Yadayk and say, Assalamu alaikum, min ayna anta? Ana min Hind. Anta Hindi? Nam, ana Hindi. Hadha Qalam? Nam, Hadha Qalam. I can now join vocabulary, even though the way of doing it are 2 different ways. Then I could add a 3rd book in there as well. And I haven't really stretched past. I just got some more vocabulary. Yeah. And so if a person doesn't have that environment like, you know, in the Middle East or like in Medina, where it's a whole student environment, then you create your own environment by adding in other beginner stuff books. So what you should be reading is whatever you can get your hands on.
No. Excuse me, Akhi, I'm gonna get out of here. It's almost time to get to the masjid here. So inshallah, man, I really appreciate you giving me an opportunity to come on.
No, I appreciate you coming, man. The program would have been nothing with you if you wouldn't have came.
No, Jazakallah khair. Okay, Akhi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Next question here is, what do you know any way to get the Mattoon books hard copy in the USA? I would say try Dar es Salaam in New York or Rye Market or even Authentic Statements. Those three would be the most likely. Authentic Statements bookstore, which I believe is in Philly. Rye Market, which is in New Jersey, rimarket.com. They're in, it's Rewire Market, but RI Market is the website. They're in New Jersey, and Dar es Salaam is in New York. Not the Dar es Salaam in Texas, but the one in New York. You mentioned something important. I started attending conferences before I knew much vocabulary. It encouraged me because I would test what I could hear from the Dars. Of course. Allah Yabarak Feek. And now you can understand better than me, mashallah. This brother here, Abdulaziz Michael, says, I'm listening to Sheikh Ubaid and also the Yemeni Sheikh Abdulaziz Al-Bur'i. Now, if you can listen to those two, then they're clear. Jazakallah khairan Ilya for coming. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Like I said, if you have any questions about Arabic or learning Arabic, I have a lot of advice. You can take and leave what you want. I've been learning it for a long time. And so if you have a question, okay, yeah, that was up there above too. Also, I live in Kuwait, so if anyone has any questions, then I'll try to answer that, you know. Tips for memorizing vocabulary is just memorization is repetition. That's all it is. Memorization is repetition. Doesn't matter if it's the Quran, doesn't matter if it's a hadith, it doesn't matter if it's you know, back in the days, music. It doesn't matter if, no matter what it is, memorization is repetition. Some things, some ayat take, you know, and not just due to their length. It could be a shorter ayat could be more difficult to memorize because of the word in there or something. So you have to repeat that ayat 50 times, whereas another ayat you repeat 10 times and you already know it. Memorization is nothing except repetition. So how do you memorize? You repeat and you repeat. You know, our Sheikh Salim here, Hafidhullah, he says, have you ever forgotten your name? No. Why? Because it's been repeated over and over and over until you know it, and you're not going to forget it. You don't have a problem remembering your name. So if you say an ayah over and over and over, you're not going to forget it. Likewise, vocabulary. You have to repeat it. You're not going to get it and put it in your breast pocket or put it in an envelope and come back and look at it later. Some words you may get like that. Some words may stay in that stack or in your pocket or in an envelope for months until you get it. And some words are not. The way you're going to get it is by repetition. And the best way to get it is inside of context, like the brother Abu Maryam asked, by context. And that's by reading, by putting it in a context that you'll know. What is mutaffifin? Mutaffifin, what does that mean, right? What is that word? That's hard. But if you start studying the meanings of the ayat, then you'll know what the mutaffifin are, and you know, then you'll be able to remember that word, right? And that's how it's going to work. But if you just tell you a word like that, mutaffifin, it might take you forever to hear that in everyday speech. I don't think I've ever heard someone talk about the mutaffifin outside of a class on Quran or Sunnah. So you have to just repeat, and repeat inside of a context, which is going to take reading or speaking. and Allah knows best. Do you know when universities of Riyadh will open their admission for portal? No, I don't know. Barakallahu feek. Inshallah, if I find out, then I will post it on my Facebook or something like that. But as of the one that you might ask would be Elir, but he left us. I don't know if you can see Eligi above. He's on Facebook. You could probably ask him because he went to their Arabic program and studied there. So you'd be able to probably ask him. He would know better than me. Anyone else have a question about Arabic language, about living in Kuwait, about anything like that? If not, advice for our best tafsir for Arabic students, especially beginners. I said that earlier, and that would be, I don't know if you were in the room at that time, but Al-Mukhtasar fi Tafsir or Tafsir Al-Muyassar. And there's a book called Al-Muyassar fi Gharib Al-Quran Al-Kareem, which just is very, very reduced version of Tafsir Al-Muyassar, which it just gives very, very minimal. Something like that. You need to take baby steps. Don't think you need to pick up Ibn Kathir or Tafsir Sa'di or like this. No. Pick up, people say it's like shorter than Ibn Kathir. It's really not. Recently, they just printed Tafsir Sa'di in 4 volumes by making the print a normal size. And when you take that big, thick volume of a Sa'di's print and you blow up the print, it becomes at least, say, 3 volumes. It's not much smaller than Tafsir Ibn Kathir. You don't have to tackle that. First, tackle Tafsir Al-Muyassar or Al-Mukhtasar fi Tafsir, and this is the way to go, inshallah ta'ala. Once you do that, as you got the general understanding, then you can go and get the deeper understanding by reading the Mutawwalat, the longer books, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah, we're going to make this up. I didn't know when I first started the video if I was going to leave it up. I didn't know how it was going to work, if people were going to even show up or anything. But since it showed up and it seems like there were some good ideas tossed around, and it will be available on YouTube, inshallah ta'ala, and my Facebook page. Khalil Klopfenstein, mashallah, he says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahsanallah ilayk. Wa ilayk ya akhi al-kareem. What would you recommend for someone who wants to work on their Arabic listening and speaking skills while they are in a non-Arabic speaking environment? Well, we talked about this a lot. Number one, they want to work on their Arabic listening. You got to listen. You got to listen. There are some speakers in English, for example, if I go back to the early 90s, late 90s, like this, early 2000s, there are some speakers who use more Arabic vocabulary in their English talks than others. So some will say there are 5 prayers in a day, and some will say there's 5 salawat in a day. If you know an English speaking person like this, an English diet that uses a lot of Arabic words, then you could start with that. But other than that, you need to just start listening. Like we said, Sheikh Saleh Al-Fawzan is not necessarily the easiest, but he's pretty easy. Sheikh Suleiman Al-Rahili is easy. Sheikh Ubaid Al-Jabari is even easier. So you just got to listen. As far as speaking skills, then the best thing I have, if you can't find a study buddy, someone that will help you out, you just got to talk to yourself. You got to look in the mirror and practice the conversation drills that you read in a book somewhere, and just try it and just do as much as you can. And then, hopefully somebody will be able to correct you. And then the world is a village, as they say today. And so you're in Wisconsin somewhere, and I'm in Kuwait, and we're still talking at the same time. So, pick up, pay a few dollars, care about your religion if you can, pay a few dollars, and sign up with an Arabic program in Misr. That would be the best bet. Allah knows best. If you want to add anything, anyone wants to add anything, they can go to this link here, and we'll bring them in like Brother Bilal was. Sheikh Khalid Lufairi has a markaz called Ibn al-Qayyim Institute in Kuwait. Yes, but I'm not sure that it's ever really taken place. I know it was supposed to take place right before COVID, and I'm not sure that it ever took place. I know that I heard about it again, but it's supposed to take place like in Ramadan. But as far as I know, I've never seen anyone come yet and study. Not that I know of. He lives kind of far from me, so I don't know. I've never seen this program, but I've seen the advertisements, and it looks very nice. May Allah reward him tremendously. Wa yakum, wa yakum, Allah hayikum, wa barakallahu fikum, wa yakum. Now, any du'at that I recommend in the UK. Yeah, Sheikh Khalid Lufairi's Arabic is very clear, mashallah. Yes, it is. In the UK, any du'at. I don't, if you would have asked me this 10 years ago, I probably would have known a whole lot better. I used to listen to English back then, I didn't know Arabic, Now I listen to Arabic, and I barely know who's around today. So I might mention people who are old and they don't even talk anymore or something. I don't know. I have a good friend there. His name is Abu Tamim Ibrahim. I don't remember his last name. Begins with a B. Abu Tamim Ibrahim. Bilsam Grisham something, I can't remember. Anyway, he has something called like the Arabic Academy. He's a good brother, mashallah. I met him here in Kuwait. We were in a program here, a 3-month program together. He came, and I was living here, and I attended it. And he's an imam, and he was in London somewhere, but now he's an imam in another little city. And that's basically who I know. I don't know any other du'at. I'm sorry. Some recommend Salafi publications. If you're near Salafi publications and that's where you live near, then go for sure. If that's where you live, if you live near there, go there. I'm not going to tell someone don't listen to somebody or something like that. No, if that's where you're by and those are the Salafis, then go by them. And if you don't agree with something that they say, then you got to agree with 100% of somebody in order to be around them. No, in order to be brothers with them. No, you're not going to agree with your wife. Well, you don't agree with yourself 100%, much less your wife or your brother or something like that. So if you don't agree with everything they say, so what? They're your brothers, they're Salafi, then go be around them. What's a good way to get to Kuwait and study when you're 40 and married with 4 children? A job. That's the only way you're going to get here if you're 20 with no children. The only way you're going to get is if you find yourself a job here. You're going to have to find yourself a job. Put some water here for me. All right. You have to have a job to be in Kuwait. You live here. Yeah, there's a kafil system here. There's what do they call it in English? The kafil system. Basically, you have someone who's in charge of you, who's your boss, and that's how you're here. There is no like Misr where I can come stay for 3 months or 6 months or like this without. No, you have to be working here or registered somewhere somehow as a student or in some official program or something in order to be here in Kuwait. And so if you're going to live here, you just have to have a job. What's the best job? A teacher. Let me see. Dictionary advice. Dictionary advice would be for a new beginner of Arabic language, Hans Ware. Hans Ware. I still use Hans Ware. I love it. I use it for not so much for the meaning of a word, but for synonyms, because he just doesn't give you a one-word definition like many of the Arabic English dictionaries do, or English Arabic English dictionaries do, like Al-Mawrid. He gives you a number of meanings. And so if you're familiar with the English language, you can kind of tell, and even if you dictionary, to see the difference, the subtle differences between the meanings. So like when translating something, you want to know what's another word for that. I know the simple word, like, I know the word I say every day when I'm, chatting with my family and friends, but what's the proper word? You can go to the Hans Ware and find, 10, 20 synonyms. Do I find Google Translate useful? In a pinch. Other than that, Hans Ware. Then after that, after Hans Ware, you should have an all Arabic dictionary. When you reach the point when you can start to understand the Arabic definitions, then even if you use Hans Ware in a pinch, like in a rush, you should still go to the Arabic dictionary to read it as well. And you should go to the Arabic dictionary first, and if you don't understand it, then go to the Hans Ware. But you should get yourself used to an Arabic dictionary, like Al-Ra'id, that's a one, or Mawrid. There's a number of them, Al-Wajiz, and then you can get you something like Lisan al-Arab, which is many volumes like this. Do I recommend memorizing dictionaries like the scholars of the past? If that's something you want to do, chances are you're older. They did that when they were young. The scholars in the past memorized dictionaries when they were young, not when they were necessarily older. And so if that's something that you want to spend your time on, if you already memorized the Quran, sure. But if you haven't memorized the Quran, don't memorize the dictionary. Umar Habib, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya Habibana, Shaykhana al-Ghali. Akhi, I wanted to know, how hard is it to get into Kuwait? Oh man, you just need a visa in the airport. If you're American, you get a visa in the airport. You mean to live here, you got to have a job. What is the book? Let me go back here. I'm sorry. Dictionaries. Memorizing, Google Translate. Let's see. What is the best book translation hadith to English? اكتب السؤال باللغة العربية يا حبيبي لكي أفهمك جيدا ها يا عمر Sheikh Omar. Okay, how hard is it to get into Kuwait? Titus says, like I said, you want to come visit, you just come visit. You want to live here, you have to have a job. There are no Marrakes, like, Khalid Al-Fayri has a markaz, but it takes place for a month or 2 months like this. The Islamic Cultural Center of Kuwait's program is 3 months, and then you leave. That's how long an American visitor visa is. You get 3-month visa and you leave. There are no like Marrakes, like people who used to live in Yemen, this or that. No, the people who are students here, and there's a lot of students, and the classes are more than you can even imagine. But they all work jobs, or they're students, or they do something, and they come to classes after hours. Tayyib, Omar Shah, Assalamu alaikum. I studied 2 Medina books around 2 years ago. I understand basic Arabic. Should I move on with book 3, or what should I carry on with? Also, how should I revise what I read earlier? Like I said, if you understand basic Arabic, you just need to start reading. But I would finish Medina book 3. I wouldn't just leave it off in the middle like that. I'd finish it. But you just need to start picking up a book and reading it. As for what you should revise, what you read earlier, just go through it. Just go through it. And if you find yourself stuck somewhere, then focus on that chapter and then move on. But just review. Just go back and reread it. And if you find yourself just read book 1 and book 2 and you understood everything, then just move on. One person, he was a non-Muslim. He taught me. He was an Arab from Syria, Christian, and we were talking about Arabic a long time. He didn't really teach me a word here or there, but he told me the example that his teacher had given him when he came to America to learn English. He said, learning English is like having a big white wall in front of you. Learning a language is like a big white wall in front of you, and you want to cover that wall with mud. So you get you a handful of mud and you throw it. Some of the mud might fall off before it even hits the wall. Some of it might hit the wall, and some of it might stick, but then some of it, part of what sticks is going to fall off. And then you throw the next handful of mud. The ideal would be to get it right next to the other handful so that you start to cover a big patch. But chances are you're going to have another place, and it's just going to be spotted. But if you keep throwing mud at that wall, you're going to cover up that wall eventually. And that's how it is. So you're not going to, move on necessarily having understood 100% of everything. You got to move on a little bit, but at the same time, you don't want to move on without trying to fill up that gap, So I don't know if that kind of makes sense. Should we study Sarf separately? Definitely. Sarf is like Nahu. Sarf is not like Nahu. You don't need Nahu in the beginning. You need vocabulary, but Sarf is vocabulary. Sarf will tell you how to make a noun a plural. Sarf will tell you how to make, the different types of plurals. Sarf will tell you how to make the verb past, present, and command. It will tell you how to make it his, hers, or theirs, or yours, or mine, or ours. So you definitely need Sarf. Omar, he says, طيب. كتاب أحاديث الصحيحة ولكن مترجمة إنجليزية حتى أعلم الطلاب وأعلم الطلاب. شيء مطول يا عمر، شيء مطول أو شيء مختصر؟ طيب Omar, while I wait for Omar's answer, he says, can you do this more often because all the questions, answers, and tips are really great and motivating? Inshallah. We finished the Fatwa book last week, and so I said, I have the program. I don't want to waste the time, so let's see if this will be of any benefit. Hopefully it's been beneficial, inshallah ta'ala. No. Mukhtasar. Hadith Mukhtasar. أنا أفضل أما بلوغ مرام في الفقه لكي هم يعبدون الله على سبيل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، أو رياض الصالحين وهذا يكون رقيق للقلوب، والله أعلم. هذا ليس بمختصر جدا مثل 40 النووية وكذا وكذا، لكن أنا أفضل مثلا البلوغ مرام، وإن تحب هذا في الفقه، ولكن هذا طويل تعلمهم عمدة الأحكام وكلها مترجمة إلى الإنجليزية. لكن رياض الصالحين، من هو المترجم المفضل؟ والله ما عندي مترجم مفضل. ما عندي مترجم مفضل، بارك الله فيك. والله يوجد الناس، والله كما لا نعرف المشايخ في كل مكان، لا كيف نعرف المترجمين في كل مكان؟ مستحيل هذا. فيوجد الناس طيبون والحمد لله بترجمة وبدينهم وأخلاقهم، ويوجد ناس لا نعرفهم ولا نعرفهم، بل لا نعرف أكثر من نعرف. بارك الله فيك. المترجم المفضل عبد الحكيم، إمام مسجد جراند مسجد، لكن هو لا يترجم كتب الأحاديث هكذا، فالله أعلم. أقصد ثقة أو ترجمته تعتقد أنه صحيح. باللغة الإنجليزية مو مثل المحقق بالعربية. فمثلا باللغة الإنجليزية نثق بالدار، فأي شيء من دار السلام عندهم إدارة وعندهم مدققون ومصححون وهذا، فأي شيء الله أعلم أي شيء من دار السلام يكون أفضل شيء بالإنجليزية. Brother, I'm reading. Akbar Latif says, I'm reading Uthaymeen Tafsir Juz Amma, but finding it extremely hard. Yet I have studied Medina books, Ajrumiya twice, and read other books. What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong now. You did it not necessarily wrong, but it was done wrong. And not that you did it wrong, but it was done wrong in the first place. The Medina books, if you studied them properly after book one, you would be understanding Arabic, because Medina books have side books. Muhammad ibn Saud's course has like 50 books, 49 books, 50 books, something like that, right? Medina books are not much different. Medina books, if you count all the side books from the 3 or 4 different levels, you're talking there's like 30, 40 books. But the people aren't studying the other books except the main textbook. You have to have the ta'bir, you have to have qira'ah, you have to have all these other books that go along with that. And so you just need to keep reading. You probably know the rules real good, but now you need to build your vocabulary up. And if you build your vocabulary up, then and you just don't get discouraged, because right now you're real close. And Shaitan don't want you to open that door. The door's almost open for you, and Shaitan don't want you to open it, because once you open it, he knows he's got less of an ability over you. طيب والله وياكم يا حبيبنا يا عمر. إن شاء الله نشوفك في الصيف بإذن الله. Do I think Arabic dialects is making Fusha less important? In the lives of the common people, yes. But in the lives of students, in the lives of Islamic knowledge, no. Books aren't written in Fusha. Books aren't written in Ammiya and Lahajat. Now, they do write books in Lahajat now. They're trying to teach Lahajat, Lebanese, Lahajah. There's even some Kuwaiti books written in their Lahajah. But those are like Adabi books. That's literature, stories, and stuff like this. When it comes to Islamic knowledge, books are not written in Lahajat. They're written in Fusha. So it might make it less important. It might make it harder for you to learn to speak properly, as it's done for me, because the people all speak their Ammiya, but it doesn't make it any less important in my life. Khalil Abu Yaman, Hafidhullah, he says, did you find it hard to make connections with the scholars when you arrived in Kuwait? Or was it easy for you? Very easy. Kuwait scholars, you might see them in the grocery store. You might see them in the restaurant. You sit with them in the house after the dars and eat dinner with them. Too easy. How would you recommend connecting with the scholars when you are residing in the same place as them? You got to go to the dars. Ask a question. Don't be shy. Ask a question. Go up, introduce yourself. If you're living in the same place as him, go to him and just talk to him. Tell him your situation. Wallahi, they'll give you all the attention in the world. How would someone connect with the scholars when he is only able to visit every now and again? Wallahi, you can call them on the phone, or you can text message them, WhatsApp, even the Mashayikh have WhatsApp now, so if you've introduced yourself, you made it known what you are, you got his phone number, WhatsApp, like the world is a village, akhi, mashallah, that. Completed listening to Usul al-Thalatha by Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr, really, really beneficial, difficult, but worth it, of course. Listen to it again. And the second time, it won't be so difficult. Third time, it won't be as difficult. Fourth time, be even easier. Before you know it, you'll be like, I know he's going to say this next. He's going to talk about this. He's not even going to finish this point because the tape's going to be over. He talks about that in the next audio. So I'm going to, you'll just know what he's going to say, and it'll be easy. And that's when you know you've reached a good point. No problem, Akhi. I understand you're trying to benefit yourself and others, mashallah. You benefit me, barakallahu feek. Mirza Nozinovic. Oh, mashallah. We got Abu Tamim. I'm going to pull him in here, but here we go. Let's see here. Nozinovic. Oh, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. We met in Kuwait in 1910, if you remember, Brother Mirza from Serbia. MashaAllah.
If you remember, Brother Mirza from Serbia. MashaAllah.
I think you got headphones or something. Turn your volume down or something, Abu Tamim.
Now, 1 second. The video was playing in another browser.
Yeah.
كيف الحال? You can hear me good now?
نحمد الله كيف حالكم؟
الحمد لله بخير ما شاء الله. اللهم بارك عليك.
For all those people who are in the UK asking about the du'at, and I mentioned the brother that I knew. This is the brother, so you can go to him. He can teach you Arabic, mashallah, and he's way better than me in Arabic. He's way better than me at teaching Arabic. He's better than me in translating. He's got Abu Tamim yakfikum, inshallah ta'ala.
This is your This is my teacher talking as well. This is the one that inspires me behind the scenes. And you know the ones when they just say, let me just throw the spotlight off the one who deserves it the most. And this is mashallah Abu Muawiyah Allahumma barik alayhi. Mashallah, an inspiration for many of us in the West, because many of us, we make excuses that we're not from those who speak the Arab tongue to do many works. And subhanallah, as it says, learn Arabic through reading. You can't get better than that. You can't get better than that.
Here we have a question from Akbar Latif. He's been interacting as well. He says, should I try teaching beginner books to improve myself? What do you think?
If you're 2 levels above that book, then yeah.
Of course.
That's what one of my teachers gave me that principle, said if you want to teach a book, just be 2 levels ahead of it. Yeah. And I found that works for me. Like if it helps a lot. And what would you say?
I agree 100%. Yeah. If I understand that book and I'm more, like you said, I'm 2 levels ahead. That's it's not my number I would have gave, but that's the level, man. Definitely 2 levels ahead. Then teach it. You're not going. That's the best way to learn is by teaching.
100%. Because when we was first in Kuwait back then in 2013, as soon as I came back, I started teaching Medina books.
Now, or you could say, even if I'm not even 2 steps ahead, as long as you make sure that you let them know, I'm only sharing with you what I have. I could be a little bit wrong in some things, but in lack of, we don't have somebody else other than this, then I'm gonna do what I can. Then no problem. But it's definitely better 2 steps ahead than do it. Teach it.
100%. 100%.
So what's going on, man? What you got going on, Abu Tamim, man? Tell us about your teaching classes and what city are you in? What masjid are you in now?
So now I'm still in London, alhamdulillah. 7 months in, new position as Imam of Croydon ICT Masjid. So that's where I'm more based now, doing lessons there. Yeah, mashallah. And I started teaching the book that you recently sent us over, the one with the question and answers for guidance for mankind. Very good. So Jameel. So just like Sheikh Salim Tawil does, he will teach a book so the reward can go to the one who produced it. I said I need to get my guy out there, mashallah. I said look at this work, I'm gonna teach it so that he can get some ajr from this, and we ask Allah to accept it from us. But amazing, man. And mashallah, so I give out the books to the community and then let them make them aware of the projects that you've got coming out so that we can try and help
No.
Financially to facilitate the goodness. And mashallah, I saw you post 2 things coming for Ramadan, yeah? Ooh,
Mashallah. No.
Allah Mubarak.
Yeah, the brother Khalil. The brother Khalil, who's in the chat here with us, he's the one he did the one on your relationship with the Quran during Ramadan. It's in its final editing stages. And I'm in the one with from Sheikh Abdullah Fawzan. It's in the middle somewhere, you know.
Allah Mubarak. No, it's good, man. Mashallah, it's good. Wallahi, for me, it's a motivation because, you know, the only book I've translated and it was my first and the only one I've done so far was the one on Sirah. But yeah, it's amazing. It's not easy, but the way you guys are moving, mashallah, it's motivating, man.
Well, the one on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, man, I don't know. I know. Ayub told me you guys had multiple copies, man. I would like a box, man.
100%.
I gotta get somebody that's coming from London to bring it to me, inshallah. I gotta find somebody.
Now, inshallah, where do you want it to come to you, in Kuwait or in the States?
In Kuwait, or in the States, it doesn't matter. In the States is where it's gonna end up at.
We'll talk, inshallah. Anyway, we'll get that sorted. I got boxes for days.
Yeah, you broke up. Well, what you said, will, and that's all I understood.
I said, yeah, I've got boxes, so I've got you, man. I've got you definitely, inshallah.
Inshallah. Akbar Latif, he says another question. He says, opinion on i'rab, is that the key? Is the stronger you are at i'rab, the better your understanding?
It's not, I wouldn't say not by itself. No, you have to have vocab. That's why you need to go through the learn Arabic through reading.
No,
like you need all that vocab, and that's the main thing between learn Arabic through reading. You're not learning i'rab only. You're learning Arabic. You're learning vocab, and that's what people are missing out on. Some people can master i'rab. They just tell you that like a mirror.
For instance, if I went, for example, even though this isn't i'rab, it's close to it. It's got to do more with vocabulary and maybe sarf a little bit, but it's. I remember I was with Sheikh Salim al-Tawil in his car, and we were going after Fajr. He used to give us a dars and tafsir, and then he had a dars on Bahjatul Qulub al-Abrar by Saadi in another house in all Arabic. All the other students, they didn't want to go because they didn't understand Arabic, and they got up early for Fajr, and they know they had a long day of classes. I said, man, I'm going to spend all the time I can with the Sheikh. So I used to ride with him to the dars. And the Sheikh had a car that was real low to the ground, and some of the speed bumps here are very tall, you know?
Yeah.
So he was big and I'm big, you know? So every time we hit a speed bump, his car would go, you know?
Yeah.
And I would tell him, I would say, I would do like this with my hand, you know? But I would say, enter suburb, ya Sheikh, enter suburb. So then we go over the speed bump, and I say, enter suburb, Sheikh, enter suburb. So then we go again, enter suburb, Sheikh, enter suburb. So the Sheikh said, he knew what I was doing, but he said, Allahu Alam, Allahu Alam. The point being that even though I made the mistake, which could be related to i'rab, kind of, because I didn't make the endings, you know, like this, he understood what I was trying to say. So if I came out with a black eye and I said, darabtu Ibrahim fi ainihi, you know, I said it all wrong. Ibrahim should have been darabani. You know, it should have been darabani Ibrahim fi aynay.
No,
you know, but I said it wrong, but you would understand because of this. But if you don't have the vocabulary, it doesn't matter if you can put the words together or not. You don't have the vocabulary to put together.
Every time I went to Sheikh Falah, rahimahullah, his house, I made mistake. Not in i'rab, in vocab. Do you remember when I was meant to ask about wool, suf, and I said sufun. I said women adding sufun to their hair. And he started laughing. Like, that says ships. I said, what's the rule on women adding ships to their hair? Allah musta'an.
Well, I wish I would have kept all the mistakes that I made and still make and put them in a book, man. That'd be like a hilarious comedy tour, man.
Yeah, too many. But it makes it the best. It makes it worthwhile, you know, because that's where you measure your progress.
No.
Because if you got only i'rab but no vocab, you can't read books. You can't understand.
No.
Like someone can give you literature and you do the i'rab of it, but okay, what does it mean? You're not gonna have it.
No, I give you a sentence and you can kind of put together and you know this the file, you know this that, but you can't tell me what the sentence mean. Who cares?
Yeah.
I give you another point of people like listening, just an extra point I would add in, throwing in. I came to my mind when we were just talking, and that is like to gauge your progress. When I keep telling people, like he said, I listened to Thalathatul Usul by Sheikh Abdul Razak. Listen to it again. You might listen to something else by somebody else, but you can't really gauge this person from that person because you don't know, like, okay, why is this still hard? Well, maybe his speech is harder than Sheikh Abdul Razak's.
Yeah. The language that he uses, all of these things.
So if you're having the same struggles or if it's, I said, you know, if you're having the same struggles or if it's easier this time. So you can gauge that. On top of that, one of my teachers in the university, he told me any new speaker any new teacher you have, it shouldn't take you longer than 2 weeks to get used to his particular manner of speaking. Everyone has their own new words that they enter and introduce and stuff. It shouldn't take you 2 weeks to get used to it. And
yeah, that's key. That's important.
Like gauging now, using that to gauge me, like if it takes me longer than 2 minutes to understand them, something's wrong. I don't need 2 weeks to get used to anybody now. I could just understand him. He's brand new to me. I understand it. Back then, when everything was new to me, I needed a couple weeks to get used to him to understand him. But now I need to be able to stand in the first 2 minutes. If I can't understand the first 2 minutes, something's wrong with me.
That's why you see, like, if I got told, can I translate for such and such sheikh they're around, I just go on their YouTube, type in their name, and listen to any talk that they do. I gauge, can I function with this one, and that's it.
No. Allah yabarak fik ya Khalil. Jazakumullah khairan. I'm gonna try something here, man. I'm gonna try to connect through a different internet, man. Just see what happens. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to see what's up. It says I got a good connection, but not showing anything. Give me a second here. You hear me, Abu Tamim?
Naam.
Alhamdulillah.
Can you? I can hear you. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. I was trying to get a different connection. I don't know if it's me. Sometimes, you know. Sometimes, who knows?
Well, that's, on the YouTube live though, it's paused though.
How is I don't know how I was trying to link through my phone, but now it's not even giving me that option. I don't know why. Let me see here. I was trying to, it was giving me the option, and now it's not even giving me the option. It's still paused on YouTube Live.
I think it's. Let me just open it again. Yeah. No, it's working.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. On the YouTube
anyway,
live.
Tell us about your Arabic tutor, man.
There's the school.
Yes.
So at the moment, I haven't been as much active on it because I've been just doing classes in the masjid. At the moment, I just have like self-study option. I just need to do some things, change it up a bit, and give it some due attention. I have kind of paused giving any attention at the moment, and just kind of finishing off the classes that I have at the moment. Some of the students on Benyadik book 2, book 4, some nearly finished that. Some nearly finished Nahu Wadih, first volume. So kind of just finishing those classes and then to give it some due attention, inshallah. You able to hear me still, yeah?
Are you back now? I'm sorry.
Oh, can you hear me, yeah? You couldn't hear me before?
Yeah, I did. I tried to connect through something, but I tried to use my phone as a hotspot, but it didn't work.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me about Arabic. You said that. I heard.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry. This
at the
person
moment,
says typically, how long does it?
Sorry, Kyle, what was the question?
No, it says typically, how long does it take to be?
Okay, I can see it.
Tell me
Yeah.
I got a hot discount on the screen for us. I'm gonna throw it up on there. Typically, how long does it take to become proficient enough to understand any Arabic book? My goal is understanding the Quran when praying, be able to read tafsir books. I don't think that's really answerable. Allahu Alam. How long does it take? It depends on the person.
I think the answer is in the question. You know, when he says, for example, my goal is understanding the Quran and praying and being able to read tafsir books, then he has to focus his energy on those books, on the Quran, and what he wants to be able to understand, and then see how long it takes him to become proficient in that. So if he's not saying in general, like any Arabic book, because he's basically said that at the beginning, but then limited it to the Quran and tafsir. So that's what he needs to focus on.
No. Yeah, but I don't think there's going to be a time. I mean, I don't think there's like a suggested time that he should be able to. It depends on his abilities, his background. For example, a person knows Somali, they could probably learn Arabic a whole lot quicker than someone who just knows English.
Yeah.
The vocabulary is going to be a lot closer related, So all those things kind of play a part, Urdu might be easier for a person who knows Urdu to learn Arabic than an English-speaking person because the letters are closer. Some of the vocabulary is going to be interchangeable. Urdu is based off of Arabic partially. So those types of things, as well as the time a person puts into it. But just know that no matter what time you put into it, if it takes you 500 hours, 1,000 hours, 5,000 hours, it's all ibadah.
Exactly. And I think sometimes we get distracted by having these time goals that if we don't reach them, we feel like we failed. But I say people, like for me, I'm still learning Arabic. Like it doesn't end. And you say the same thing. Like, and one thing that I learned recently that I should have done a long time ago, but we learned from that. I saw someone, they read anytime they see a word they don't know, they got a highlighter. And that's marked. That's researched. And if we don't do it, it's like you're gonna learn a word, you're gonna forget it straight away. Learn a word, forget it straight away. But it's something that's constant. It just never stops because the only reason we're reading these books and stuff as well is to better ourselves for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's always gonna be an act of worship. So I don't put time limits on. I need to do it this fast. Just do it. Like
I remember, Abdul Hakim. I really look up to him for a long time for his Arabic.
I can just see him now in the
front. I was trying to gauge my Arabic, and so, and he's been fluent. No, he's been fluent in Arabic, Akhi, for 20 years now. You know what I mean? Fluent. So I asked him. I guess this is probably 6-7 years ago. I asked him. I said, when you read a book, like, how many words on a page don't you understand? Like you understand from the context, but you didn't really know that word except in the context. How many words on a page? He said, I don't know. And then about 2 days later, he said, man, you killed me with that question, man. Now every page I'm looking, I'm counting the words I don't know. And, and And the point of that is someone who's been fluent for 20 years and who reads like crazy, he doesn't know a word here and there.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember, subhanAllah, when we came to see you, yeah, whenever we went and buy books and you see him, he's already read like 100 pages on the first day he's got the book.
200-300 pages.
Yeah. He just got the book and he's like, yeah, mashallah, just Allah musta'an, Allah mubarak alayh.
Now we have Ayub Smoothie, mashallah. Says assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. He says he can hear us. We can read your words loud and clear. Nuruddin Al-Ajuri says, is it easy to make hijrah to Kuwait for Europeans? It's easy for you to get into the country. It depends on your degree. As far as hijrah, there is no hijrah to Kuwait. No one can live here permanently. There's going to be a time when they're probably going to put you out unless you were born here or something as a foreigner. And even then, some foreigners, they just made a rule, for example, anyone over 60 that doesn't have a bachelor's degree, then they have to pay a really high amount for health insurance and stuff every year. And they just sent like 40,000 elderly out of here who were born here or been here for 50 years and don't know anywhere else. You send them back to Iraq. They don't know what Iraq is like. They don't know what to do. They don't know what it's like. They don't know anything, but they got to go. So hijrah is out of the question. Allahu Alam. A man asked one of the Salaf, how much Quran should we reply to equivalent to the amount of happiness you're looking for? Of course. It's a beautiful quote. Jazakallah khairan. Yeah, so here, I mean, I just want to bring it in. You want to bring anything in here, man? I've been on here for almost 2 hours. You want to give them some type of benefit? Inshallah, maybe next Saturday we'll do it again or something. We'll see, inshallah.
Yeah,
just answer questions, how to learn Arabic. You know, I can answer about Kuwait. You can answer about UK, whatever you want to do. You know about Kuwait a little bit too, whatever. This is just some chance for, you know, I don't want to be a faqih or anything, answer anybody's questions on fiqh issues or anything, but from my experience of learning Arabic and the struggles I've been through and stuff like this.
No, I mean, it was amazing. I can still see the classroom. SubhanAllah, me and Abu Muawiyah was in the same classroom, right next to each other, like, and just going through the struggle. Having the
same struggles.
Yeah. You know, SubhanAllah, man. But imagine, like, at that time we looked at 2013 and it's gone so fast, and it's like 2020 I come back again for the Dawra Ali ibn Abi Talib, and that's when you get to see like the level of Arabic has changed, subhanAllah. And also make sure you see Abu Muawiyah's Maktaba sessions, because if you want to learn how to build a library, then you need to, especially for those who are coming from non-Arabic speakers, how to start off and the progress you can make. Then Allah Mubarak Abu Muawiyah has definitely set the bar for us in that regard, mashallah. And definitely what people need to stop doing is making excuses. Like, I'm in London, most of my learning's been in London, Abu Muawiyah is in Kuwait, and he benefits. There's many people in Arab-speaking countries, but they don't learn Arabic, they don't learn Islam, they don't build a maktaba, they're there for other purposes. So
yeah, I remember a brother was telling me about, I guess this was maybe just 2-3 months ago. I went to his house. He had picked up some books for me in Riyadh on some thabits, like a chain of narration that this sheikh had, all of his chains for different books. So he picked them up because they were giving them away at a library there. So I went to him and got the books, and we were talking, and he was like, and it's really good for you. You know, I see you speaking Arabic and stuff. My first time really meeting him, you know, he's seen me, I seen him, but first time talking. And he said, I was with Sheikh Haytham Sarhan, and we were in a gathering, like, I think it was Medina, or it might have been, it was outside of Medina, I think, maybe Riyadh or somewhere. And he said that they were going to have a gathering. So one brother went and got all these other Americans. They came in their thobes, shamags, you know, they were, you know, looked like Arabs, you know what I mean? And the sheikh started his class, and then the brother, after about 5 minutes, said, Sheikh, you going to give me time to translate? They don't speak Arabic. He said, hold it. He just stopped his class. Like, how long y'all been here? 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 3 years, 4 years? You still don't understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about Thalathatul Usul, Quwat al-Arba. You know what I mean? You still don't understand? and you're here as a student, man. You're here as like, you know, you came here to be Salafi, you know what I mean? And now,
Yeah.
you know, it ain't like you came here with your parents and they moved here to work at Aramco and you're just here. No, you're here to do this, and you're still this many years and you're not doing it. Almost time.
Even when I went to Medina once and I met with Sheikh Haytham Sarhan, we went out to eat, and there were some brothers from different parts, Russia, brothers that were in the Jamia as well. And one brother was talking English, and the Sheikh said, hey, you're in Medina, like, why are you talking English?
No.
Like, stop talking English. Like, if you're a student of knowledge as well, you shouldn't be talking English.
No.
And that's why you
Right.
find sometimes, unfortunately, some brothers from the West, when we study, even in the Jamiat, our Arabic is still weak because we don't speak Arabic. As soon as we see another student from our country, we don't even talk in Arabic no more.
No.
It's straight back to English. And it's like, that's not going to preserve or make your tongue fluent with the language if you're not taking every possible opportunity to speak it.
Okay, so this person says, let me delete this guy, man. He's putting some stupid stuff up there. Anyway, given that my goal is Quranic understanding, should going to a university for Islamic studies, is it worth it? Or is it better to focus on Quranic studies with a teacher through Skype or Zoom? Studying is done at the feet of the ulama, not through the handset of Zoom, you know what I mean, or an iPhone or a Samsung or whatever, Hawaii or whatever it is. You're not going to get it. Do I say you have to go to a university? No, but at the same time, you know, I'm assuming you don't speak Arabic yet, so you don't even know what you want to do for real, because you don't even know what you're capable of, and you don't know what's even available to you once you know Arabic. So right now, while you don't know Arabic and while you're saying I want to go study Arabic, Quranic Arabic and studies, should I go to an Islamic university? You're thinking I don't care about it. I just want to focus on Quran and tafsir. You don't even know what you're going to focus on once you learn Arabic.
Yeah.
You know, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his life was the example, was the explanation of the Quran. He lived and explained the Quran. As-sunnah tufassiru al-Quran. You know, so once you learn Arabic, once you learn Quran, you're like, man, why didn't I study Sunnah, man? Why didn't I study?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't cut yourself short and say this is what I want. Number one, you don't know what you want because you don't know what you're capable of, and you don't even know what's available to you once you open that door. You don't know what's behind that door. So don't cut yourself and limit yourself and say, I want to be you know, focus on. No, I'm gonna focus on whatever Allah sends my way, man. So take whatever you can get. If you can go to Mauritania and study Quran and tafsir under somebody, you don't need a university degree, no doubt. But we live in an age of degrees, man. If you don't have a degree, you don't have anything.
It's unfortunate. And it's like, as you said, people need to know what they want to do, because like I said, for example, I said to one brother, he said he's going to the Jamia, he got accepted to Medina University. Can I advise him? I said, bro, you have to know, you've been given an opportunity that you can go and learn your religion. Have the intention that you want to learn for the sake of Allah, and you want to also teach people. You're going to come back and teach people. And he's like, nah, it's just about me. It's like, when you go there, of the things they expect from you, when they're accepting a certain number of students from different countries, is that you go and call people in your countries to Islam. No. So it's like, if your goal is not to propagate Islam, what are you seeking knowledge for? It's not just for you. No one has sought knowledge.
This shows that he misunderstood the first page of Thalathatul Usul right away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a must. Like, when you get knowledge, it has to be shared. It's not just to be concealed.
No.
You see, so it's like, it's not a joke as well. People have to realize, okay, I'm not just going to apply to the Islamic University because it's free. I get a free ride. I get paid for. It's not hard. It's a serious thing. Like, it's very serious.
And it's hard.
It's very hard. The process is easy. That's it. It's just the process is easy. But actually going through the program and maintaining it is difficult.
Completing it.
Yeah. You see? And the thing is, not everyone gets the opportunity. So, okay, let's say you don't get to go to Islamic University. What are you going to do now? I didn't go to Islamic University. Abu Muawiyah didn't go to Islamic University.
No.
But did we say, okay, no, I can't get into any university? So, boy, I said, bro, I'm going Kuwait. I need to learn Arabic. Like,
No.
once you learn the language, you start to see the people of knowledge. And I think Abu Muawiyah, you got to give them a real one of the scholars you benefit from in Kuwait. How accessible the lessons are,
No.
because people don't know. People think that the ulama is just limited. Like
this conversation reminds me of this one brother. He came from the States, and he was working a job on computers here, and he was a black guy, you know, and he was young, and he was kind of like, you know, almost like Black Lives Matter before it was a movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. I don't want to say he was any type of racist or prejudice or nothing like that, but he had like, you know, we as Muslims, we as black people, we gotta uplift ourselves type of mentality, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember him talking about like certain Salafi brothers who back in the days used to talk about going to the universities is haram because there's mixing between the men and the women and this and that. How do we expect to ever get out of the poverty we were in if we don't ever go to a university, man? If we don't ever do this, they want me to just learn Arabic and learn hadith, how I'm gonna grow, how I'm gonna live, how I'm gonna do this and that. And I used to just like try to sneak a word in, but I saw how adamant he was. I just kind of would like be quiet. I took him to a dars one day with Sheikh Abu Salah in the desert. And the Sheikh was explaining Al-Fatiha. Nice, beautiful tafsir, man, off the meter, right? And the brother comes after that. We were leaving. He said, man, listen, I don't have a clue what the Sheikh said. But that's the most beautiful night I was in. And if I could give up studying university to do that every day, I'd give it up. You know, so don't limit yourself, man. Don't limit yourself.
Yeah, subhanallah. And do you know what it is? That's when nazalat alayhim as-sakina. That's it.
No.
When you're in the circles of knowledge, imagine he didn't understand the word, but he still got the fruits of it.
No.
Subhanallah. No. Because I remember when we were sneaking out, going to Sheikh Falah, sneaking out, coming back just before a sandstorm, pitch black, running in the dark in white fall, was running so the light don't catch us. You do that, you get to relive joy as a child seeking knowledge, but it's a different joy. Like when you're happy, just feeling free, you get to feel that. Or going to Sheikh Mansour in the Badia, by the playing volleyball, having a circle of knowledge, having some food. It's nice. No. Like it's nourishment for the soul, and that's why you enjoy it, and nothing can replace it.
No, we have a couple comments or questions. This brother says, may Allah reward you for this live broadcast because you're the experts. You know what it's like to learn a language from nothing. Wouldn't say experts, but we got maybe because of getting enough bumps and bruises from
some experience.
Yeah, we might have some experience. Yeah. Then so Jazakallah khair. Inshallah, we'll do it again. Maybe we'll talk about some of the Mashaykh in Kuwait and answer other questions.
Next person, Sheikh Abdullah Sharik was meant to come and see us, but it got cancelled, bro. Allah musta'an. Oh, sad, man.
SubhanAllah. Says, are you for Rashid Abdurraqib Robert says, are you familiar with an Andalus Institute program, and do you think it's a good method to learn? From what I understand, you amass a wealth of vocabulary and learn Sarf and Nahu later. I'm not familiar with it. I know Arabic tutor in UK. That's all I know.
I got the Arabic school, and that's it.
Andalus. That's not Muhammad's, is it?
Yeah, that's Muhammad's one.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Abu Tamim, you can contact him on Facebook. Abu Tamim, where's his name, man? Let's get this off here. Ibrahim Abu Tamim, you could get him on Facebook, and then you could ask him. He used to be part of that program, so he knows, inshallah.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali says, some background, I studied Nahu and Sarf, but due to being busy with life, I've forgotten multiple times. Keep doing it. That's life. Memorization is repetition. Some things you need 10 times, some things you need twice, some things you need 500 times. You just keep repeating it, you'll memorize it.
And tell them, obviously, you see with your program, Learn Arabic through Reading, people need to be using this on their commute. If you're going to work, if you're on break, just listen, because you're going to amass a lot of vocab.
No. I have a basic level of listening and comprehension, but it's not enough to read tafsir without Googling and searching through dictionaries for every other word.
We had to go through the same process.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm gonna close. Like I said, I've been on this for 2 hours and 10 minutes already, you know. But I'm gonna, unless Abu Tamim wants to say something else, and we don't get any like real quality questions or something like that. In the meantime, one benefit that I've seen now a couple times. I actually read it a long time ago from one sister who had a blog about learning Arabic, and she used to put a bunch of PDFs up there. It's like called Books to Learn Arabic, something like that. I can't remember. She had a couple of different blogs, but they were all kind of like the same thing. And then I saw a couple other people talking about it. And you were talking about like highlighting words and stuff. One tip would be like, okay, say you go look up this word. When you look up that word, put a star next to it, for example, that I looked up this word. Right? Now, if you come across that word again and don't know what it means, so when you got to go look it up, then now you see that star next to it that you looked up this word. So this word's obviously going to appear in your vocabulary more often than you might have expected. So you didn't put a lot of attention to it. So now you need to underline that word. So what happens, you come across that word a third time and you still need to look it up. You're going to see the star and you're going to see the underline and you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to write a square or a circle this word and I'm going to take it. I'm going to write that word on another piece of paper because I need to memorize this word. Some of the words you might only have a star with. You might not run into that word again for another 5 years. But some words you're going to say, oh, I keep seeing this word and I keep forgetting that word. Now I need to figure out a way to memorize that word. So I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it on a piece of paper. I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to memorize that word. But don't just look up the word and leave it. Your dictionary should be, highlighted, scribbled in, marked on, underlined, overlined, stars next to stuff. It should be used. I got a program I'd love to do, man. I'd love to go through reading the Hans Word Dictionary.
I think that means you're gonna do it.
I was trying to say, what I was hoping for is you say, man, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do it. I would say, cool,
I mean, it's very rare that I've heard you say something you're thinking about and you don't do it. Allah Mubarak.
You think about Malcolm X, how eloquent he was in the English language. Yeah, and he's praised for being a powerful speaker. But when he was in prison, he wrote down the dictionary. And when he finished, he started over again.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Every day he would write down a page of the dictionary and read it. And then the next day, write down another page and read it. If you did that with the Hans Ware, how many, the little phrases that you find in there, Hayyakallah, Bayat are different, just phrases in different verb forms and stuff. Man, wallah, you'd be you'll
be on a different level. Do you know how many times we get told about, and I think just a point to emphasize from what you mentioned in your answer is the need for people to have a physical dictionary and stop relying on digital dictionaries because you can't make these notes. You need to have a physical dictionary.
Yeah, that's books and everything. You need a physical book.
Yeah.
The digital copy is for maybe to train or something like this. The digital copy is for searching.
Yeah.
Doing research. But the actual book, you need to have the actual book.
You need the book, man.
Now this person says, go ahead, Fadl.
Do you remember Sheikh Salih Sheikh's story when he asked the Muhaqqiq al-Hadith to advise him on that book to read to get better in Arabic, and he said to him, read Lisan al-Arab, and he said, but it's 20 volumes. And he said, if you can't read that, then go and do something else. Seeking knowledge is not for you. He said, we read it twice completely with our Sheikh, and he died on the third time.
You got to put in the work, man.
Literally.
This person says, I definitely enjoyed being in Kuwait, staying with Abu Muawiyah. Who is that, man?
Power of the mind. You can see the picture, but you can't see the picture.
Is this Abdullah from New Jersey? He said, I want to come back. I think it's Abdullah from New Jersey, man. I'm not sure. Hayakallah, Habibi. It says in the end, I appreciate your channel, all the info you placed on there. May Allah bless you both and allow it to weigh heavily on your scales of good and your own come. I mean. That's what we want to do. I was staying with Brother Abu Muawiyah. It was so nice and enjoyable. It's got to be Abdullah from New Jersey, man. Could you do a video on your conversion to Islam and your way to learning Arabic? That'd be interesting. Yeah, Abu Tamim will do that for you, inshallah.
We'll both do it, inshallah.
Abdullah says that's him from New Jersey, mashallah.
Mashallah.
Then this brother Abu Musa, he says, do you have to stick to one course book or can you keep yourself busy with different courses? For example, me, the Arabic and Arabiyatul Benedict and some reading book. Let Abu Tamim answer first. I've already answered this and I'll repeat it, but let Abu Tamim answer first.
I believe in the beginning, you should start with one course. Just in the beginning. And when you get somewhat confident, consistent, and grounded, then each course has its different benefits. So you have to know as well, why do you want to do another course? Maybe you're acknowledging something is missing from the course you're studying that you need and is offered somewhere else. So I think you have to know, why do you want to study other courses? What's the benefit of those other courses? Rather than, because I know a lot of people, they only will give preference to a course based on an experience, not exactly knowing what does that course have to offer. That's the one that they studied, they give it preference. So I think you just have to know, why you need to go to something else, what's missing, and take it from there. But these books, they're gateways to learn Arabic. So once you finish Medina book, when you finish Medina Day, now you're going to start learning Arabic, because only when you start to read books and beat down that dictionary, you're going to start learning Arabic then. Before that, you're just getting your key cut.
No. Yeah, my answer would have been similar. I don't think I would have not made the condition that once you get a little bit confident, but I like that condition because I like I said, when I first moved here, I thought I was going to be moving, in a land of everybody speaking Fusha, blah, blah, and it just wasn't. And so, like I said, you don't want to walk around, if you study Medina books, you don't want to be stuck for a week talking about Hadha Kitab, Hadha Kursi, Hadha Sarir, Hadha Miftah, Hadha Miftah, La, Hadha Baytun. You don't want to be talking about that for a week. So then you go to another book that has a little bit more, like Arabiyatul Benedict, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, min aina ana, min aina anta, ana min America, masmuka, ismi Mustafa. Now, okay, cool, I got that, but I still need Hadha Kitab, Hadha Sarir. I still need that too. And I could even add in a third book if I wanted and have some more similar beginner type vocabulary level stuff. And so with that, I could complete a course and almost create myself an Arabic speaking environment, even if I wasn't in one, you know, by having multiple, because I'm not going to just keep having the same conversation all day. Hadha Kitab, Hadha Sarir, Hadha Kitab, La, Hadha Qalam, No, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to have different conversations. So different books will give me different conversations. So I can almost create my own Arabic surroundings by having the different. But like you said, you need to have a little bit of confidence before you do that. I believe that.
Yeah, only because some people jump because of fear or boredom, but it's like you keep jumping, or maybe I'm finding sometimes because I find it hard, so I need to do something else. If it's because it's hard, that means you need to put in more effort and be a bit more patient. And if it comes easy, you're not going to appreciate it. That's the reality.
No. Let's say the brother said he was asking me because he already saw your video on how you learned Arabic. His video on how he learned Arabic is better than my video would be. So you don't need to watch a 1-star video. You watch the 5-star video, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum. I heard Sheikh Uthaymeen's Arabic explanation is very easy and simple to understand. Do you recommend any other sheikhs to listen that are like this for beginners? Yeah, we've said this. Sheikh Uthaymeen, Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabari is super, super clear. Sheikh Suleiman al-Rahili, he has a higher, I don't want to say a higher vocabulary, but he uses maybe a little more technical terms, but he speaks clearly. Sheikh Abdul Razak speaks clearly for the most part. But Sheikh Uthaymeen, Sheikh bin Baz is definitely hard, but Sheikh Uthaymeen is clear. Sheikh Suleiman, Sheikh Ubaid, Sheikh Abdul Razak. I don't think Sheikh Haytham is clear, even though he's very simple in his explanations.
your ear has to get accustomed to it.
Yeah. Is it better to learn Arabic or Tajweed first, or combine both? My kids are becoming of age. Man, they're kids. They can learn Arabic, Tajweed, and some more stuff, man. Don't have that idea that I'm putting too much on them, man. Put too much on them. They're kids, man. They're tough, and they're what do they say? They're elastic, man. They can bounce back and they can come and they can do all types of stuff, man. Hit them up with all of it, man. Akhi Rihan. What are both your contacts? So I gotta get rid of this one first, huh? What are both your contacts? Jazakallah khair, and I really appreciate all the advice. The most important thing is to keep trying consistently, no doubt. You can reach out to me through Facebook by my name or through YouTube, and we'll get together. I see you're on YouTube. Leave a comment on my video or something. I'll get it, inshallah. As for Abu Tamim, then he's the Arabic tutor, mashallah. The Arabic
school
tutor. Oh,
the
Arabic school?
The Arabist school.
Arabic school. I thought you were
Yeah.
Arabic tutor or something, man. I'm wrong, man. The Arab. You want to become an Arabist, then you have to give Abu Tamim, mashallah.
But for my YouTube, just put Ibrahim Al-Mubtasim instead of Abu Tamim Al-Mubtasim, then reach out to me on YouTube as well.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story, and I'm definitely gonna make this the end. You know, we were complaining about this guy who was the imam of the masjid. He was Ashari, you know, and he was very, very harsh against Al-Albani and Bin Baz, and against Salafis, period. You know, but like Al-Albani is a kafir, Ibn Taymiyyah is a kafir, Ibn Qayyim is a kafir. You know, like this type of
subhanallah.
You know. So we called this one brother who graduated from the University of Medina. He was the first American to ever graduate from the College of Arabic, right? And he was the imam in Alabama. What is it? Georgia. So he came there, and he came to see us, and he was visiting us. And as soon as I saw him, I knew it was him. My first time meeting him, you know. And I went up to him, and he talked to me, man. He said, I wasn't married at that point, you know. He said, all right, Abu Basma, man, go do what you're doing, and we'll get together a little later on today, you know. No, but he called me Abu Basma because I used to smile a lot, you know. Now I'm old, my teeth are bad, and
you still smile on my back. You still smile.
You know? But
mashallah.
But yeah, he called me Abu Basma, but I like Abu Muawiyah better.
Yeah, mashallah.
Inshallah, man, let's do this. I'll be back, inshallah, next Saturday at 9 p.m. Mecca time, 7 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like this, inshallah. Maybe I'll have some stories to start talking about Mashaykh until we get some good answers. I don't want to just repeat this same stuff. I'm gonna refer back to last week's video, you know. but inshallah, you'd be welcome to come back. About
100%, man. 100%. It was a pleasure.
I appreciate you, man, all your efforts, man. And when you work on your second book, man, let me know, man. We'll print it, inshallah. You know, Sheikh Haytham's got some good books out there, man.
Yeah, I need to speak to him in one way as well, man. I need some advice for the translating, definitely.
He's got a book on fiqh that just came out, man. The fiqh tasheel or some tasheel fi fiqh or something, man.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I'll send you the PDF, inshallah.
Because he wanted me to work on the Taqrib Madarij Manhaj Salikinya, but Allah Musta'an, it's like when I put it on the Word, it just loses its format. It's like it's a mess. The actual document it's a headache.
No.
I don't even know how to
we'll see what I can do. We'll see if I can get it transferred or not. We'll see. I got some people who that's what they do all day, so he might be able to make it in a readable format for you, inshallah.
No, inshallah. But yeah, no, I'll shout you, Habibi, man. Jazakallahu khairan.
Jazakallahu khairan. Allah yafadakum jami'an. Also, as you brothers know, there's some drawbacks learning Arabic online as opposed to in a classroom environment course or in an Arab country. Do you have any tips on how to mitigate these drawbacks? I mean, I never learned online, so I can't tell you. But if there's if you the only way to mitigate it to me would be to go learn it in person. But if you don't have that ability, then you just gotta deal with it. But I don't know. I never learned online, so I don't know.
I feel like if you know, for example, you can't travel now, you cannot learn in the classroom now, you have to kind of just ignore this and just do what you have to do. Like, you got no choice right now, you just got to go for it. Because if we make it a problem, that's going to be an obstacle to your learning. You just got to go optimistically, just keep on doing whatever program you're doing until another opportunity opens up for you, that whilst you're working on getting there. But if that opportunity is not there for you, then you work with what you have for now.
Yeah. Jazakallah khairan, ya Abba Tamim. Inshallah, I'm getting off now, man. It's 11:30 at night, man.
Yeah, mashallah. Yeah, it's only 8:25 for us now.
Mashallah. So, and I said 9. I said 7 p.m. UK
It might
time.
be 6 because that's why I didn't even know he was on yet. Then Smoothie gave me a shout. Said, "Bro, jump on." I was like, "Let me throw on the phone quick."
Jazakallah khairan. We're gonna get Smoothie on here, inshallah.
Yeah, we need Smoothie on there as well.
He could tell us his story of learning Arabic, inshallah, and be handsome at the same time, mashallah. Love y'all too. Brother says he's from Africa, gives us salams, and says he loves y'all. We love y'all too, man. Jazakumullah khairan. Please forgive me. I'm out. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.